Greetings and welcome to another video. This will be a slightly different video. Something just happened. I am going to talk about value and custom items. In the physical world, there is a set standard, set to best practices. When a person requests a custom, it will usually be a personal thing of value to only that person, thus it being identified as custom. When the maker of the custom is asked to make it, that is when the custom maker should state the initial price, get from the client slash customer the details of what the custom is, then adjust the price to how easy or difficult it would be to make to their specifications. If both parties agree upon the aforementioned, the maker of the custom should give a timeline of when the custom will be completed. If the client is happy with the timeline, then the initial payment should be handed over. Then the custom work should begin or whatever timeline the custom maker promised. After the custom item is made, presented to the client, and whether or not the client is satisfied, any additional payment should be made at that time, thus ending the transaction. As I said, this is a standard business model set to best practices. In the physical world, in SL, things are often not the standard. My transaction with a person was regarding a simple one line custom tat. They make their own tats. They have an MP with less than 10 items on it. Um, I was speaking with this person for at length over the span of 2 days. I asked if they do customs. They said, yeah. I then proceeded to think about what kind of custom I wanted. I came up with it, mentioned it to them today, and they went ahead and made it. Showed me the draft. I was happy with it, just a little, well, except for a little bit of adjustment, which they did. Then they finished it up, gave it to me. I said, "How much do I owe you?" They said they didn't know what would be fair. I gave them 500 Linden, and then they said 750, and I said, "Well, I gave you 500 Linden. I think that's fair." And then obviously there was some questionable feelings arising, and I said, "You don't think that was fair?" And they said, "I'll just make up difference by slapping it on the marketplace for like 100 Linden." And I was in a jokey mood at this point. I was still referencing to my 500 Linden that I had handed over and said, "You could have bought a house with that." LOL. That's loads to go tip some AFK girl somewhere. When they reinstated the price of 750, I said, "Well, I want exclusivity." Then they proceeded to state that'll be another 250. And so I sat here and I'm thinking all this over and I'm like, no, this, no, this is not right. And I said, "You should have stated that price beforehand. You're lucky you got 500 Linden because you won't get that again from someone else that may that would even know what the tattoo actually means. I said, so don't be greedy. Then this person thought that I had lowballed them and that I insulted them and that they didn't want to do business again. And I replied, no, you said you didn't know what was fair, and I gave you what I thought was fair. You open negotiation, then insult me for saying you would sell it for 100 Linden. Now that's lowballing. My thoughts are that, looking back on the transaction itself, I realize that had I not paid what I thought was fair, they would have not gotten anything for the short time that they invested into making the custom. Had they set their price after they already made the custom and I, for whatever reason, didn't pay, they would have set themselves up for failure for not stating upfront how much it would be for them to make a requested custom tattoo. So, there you go. That is an example of how not self-regulating to a standard business model set to best practices in Second Life. That kind of thing happens, and that's what happens. If you're the type that you don't know how much to charge for something, then well, that's when you look around, you see what other people are charging, and you can, kind of adjust your prices or go with that. You have to do your research according to demographics, according to how others state their market values, how they value things that other people require for custom makes. And if you really want to have a business, you really got to put the effort into it in SL to do it properly according to a business model of any sort. But this quote unquote transaction that I had with this person, it was as regular as Joe Blow from the street. So um, he did they he she they did not present themselves to me as someone that would come across as a uh, greedy type, but apparently, well, yeah, so i I don't know. I mean, sure, I will accept fault that when I had requested the custom, that is when I should have asked how much. And then maybe there would have been actual negotiation, right? However, I failed in that by not asking up front how much would it be to do a custom. Then that would have left the ball in their court. But I said I'd like a custom. I said what I would and gave the specs on it, and they did it, gave it to me. And out of good faith I paid, because the thing is that I was given something that I hadn't paid for yet. Had I been an insulting type of person or a mean one or what have you, then I would have just taken the tat, yep, and not paid the person at all and just put them on block. But I did not do that. I kept my word. I paid what was fair, 500 linden for a tattoo as simple as this right there. That was it. And it's just a tat. No Appler, no Omega, nothing. It's just a system fake sew mesh tattoo. And I thought it was fair to pay what I did. And the person is damn lucky that I paid at all. because the person gave me the finished product. I mean, I could have just not paid, but I did in good faith. Then, I get insulted because they get butt hurt because they didn't state the price that they wanted until after way, way too late, basically. That's how that went down. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And hopefully, this gives you some learning. See you in the next video. Bye.